What's up, people? I'm so excited to tell you about NordVPN, okay? Because I travel all the time, whether it's on a cruise ship, another country, a military base. And now sometimes I can't watch the UFC because where I'm at doesn't have it. Well, now I can because NordVPN makes it so that I can watch the UFC from different territories via streaming. It lets you change your computer's location to come from anywhere in the world. How cool is that? You might be wondering, what's a VPN? Okay, I know I was. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. And it's a service that protects your internet connection and privacy online. It creates an encrypted tunnel for your data. It protects your online identity by hiding your IP address. It allows you to use public Wi-Fi hotspots safely. Yes, so no one will track you or hack you, yada, yada. No one likes to be watched or tracked. I don't. Even if you have nothing to hide, still, we want our privacy, which is why it's important to step up your privacy game. Whether you're browsing through a VPN, when you are doing that, okay, your traffic is encrypted so that no one can see what you're doing online, all right? I know a lot of our listeners like to, be private. I've met some of you guys, and I can understand why. Here are a few reasons why you need a VPN, okay? Use public Wi-Fi regularly. You want to access your content. You want to stay safer online, and you're an avid gamer. So you get your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/roasted. You can get a huge discount off your NordVPN plan, plus 4 months for free. That's the best deal ever, right? It's completely risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. I am so pumped because now I can watch the fights from wherever I am. Because so many times I'm like trying to watch the fights and I'm like, it's the most frustrating thing ever. Well, now my life is going to change thanks to NordVPN. NordVPN, check it out. Highly recommend. You'll be thanking me later.
Let me bang. I do let you bang. Hey, let me bang you, man. I let you bang. I let you bang. Greetings, marriage and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No forget Jesus, people.
And I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
What's up, people? Welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. Me, Adam Hunter. It's me and McCorkle. Sorry, we've been gone for a couple weeks. It's been crazy couple weeks, man. Sean, how are you?
I'm terrible. How are you?
Well, what's the matter?
Oh no, man. I'm just getting ready to go on that trip to Germany. So it's been it's just a nightmare, man. It's to fly from Indianapolis to Germany is like $1,600, but if you go from Chicago to Germany, it's like $800. So, but if you want to fly Indianapolis to Chicago, which is only a 30-minute flight, then they want to hit you for like $400. So they're like trying to get you every way coming.
So if you drive to Chicago, leave your car?
Yeah, leave your car at $35 a day is what they'll hit you for parking. So now what I'm going to do is rent a car, drive it up there, drop the rental car, fly there, fly back, rent another car, drop it in Indy. They're going to hit me for drop-off charges one way. Either way, there's like no way to beat it. Like I've tried, I'm pretty good at beating the system. There's no way to beat them.
Is your girl going with you?
Yeah.
That's the problem. You don't have family that could give you a lift or a friend or?
I mean, to Chicago from my house in traffic, it'd be 4 hours each way. So nobody wants to drive 8 hours to, do that. And then they got to drive 8 again to come get me. So it's like, it's like they rob you. No matter what you do, you get robbed. Like it's one way or another. It's you get robbed either way. Then you go to, they told me, by the way, there's going to be a 3% tax on anything I charge overseas. Well, that procedure is going to be 20 grand. So you're going to hit me for 3% of that, or whatever. So there's another $600 they're robbing me for. Like, it's just, dude, it's just thing after thing after thing.
It'll be worth it, man. If your quality of life improves and your back gets better, it'll be worth it.
Or if it doesn't, then I just blew a bunch of money. So there's always that possibility too. So
well, I told you this on text, but I didn't tell everyone on the podcast. So I've had a crazy couple of weeks. First, I did a show in where was I? I was in Minnesota. Like, this guy just wants to start doing comedy. Nice guy. This guy, he he was a semi-pro. He still plays semi-pro football, which I guess you play, but you don't get paid. But it's like,
Yeah, so it's, I don't know if that's exactly pro, but it's a semi-amateur football.
and then he was a wrestler in college. Cool guy, big guy, picked me up. So I do the show and it's packed. And I mean, a couple hundred people, but as many people as I could fit in the place. And
Right.
there's a guy, a blind guy, right? And the guy has these big, thick glasses, gets up to go to the bathroom. So right away I go, oh man, I'm not doing well. And by the way, I'm doing very well at this point, but I'm like, man, I'm having a rough set. This guy would rather leave and look at nothing. Right. So the crowd starts laughing. And then he gets up and comes back, and I could tell he's kind of enjoying it. So he sits down. I'm like, hey, you having a good time? And he was very soft spoken. He said yes. And I said what? And then some lady sitting next to him goes, he said yes, asshole. And I'm like, so right away I'm like, is this your daughter? Like, I thought maybe it was his daughter, right? She's like, no, you need to have respect for people with disabilities. You need to respect the handicap. And I was like, what are you, seeing eye, Karen? Right. So then people are, turns out so then like she gets up and leaves and he's laughing at everything, right? So I was like, sir, what's going on? And then the woman next to him goes, oh, that's my daughter, and she's got, she's very sensitive. So this is like during the show, and the crowd's laughing, but now it's getting like awkward, like, and right away, and now I can't like focus on anything but this, like, because right away, like, there's nothing else I can. So now I'm like, oh, I'm in a hole. Like, I got to fucking dig myself out of this hole, right? So I'm like laughing and laughing. I'm like, sir, just so you know, even though your friend hates me, she was a beautiful Chinese woman, right? So now everyone, and she was white, of course. So everyone's fucking going ballistic, right? So at the end of the show, she's back. And it turns out that's the owner's girlfriend. The guy that picked me up, that was driving me around. That was her. And I guess her mom brought him there, and she's like, just, this blind guy is your biggest fan. He knows all your jokes, right? So I sit down with him. We start talking. Nice guy. I'm like, what do you do for work? And he's like, oh, I sort mail at the post office. So I'm like, of course you do, right?
Right.
And then me and the woman made up, and now she heckles me. Like, every time I post something, she's like, have some class, you fucking asshole. So we're like friends. So that was 2 weeks ago. Then I go on a cruise, right? And I'm writing the MMA awards, which is a whole nother thing we'll talk about. But it's like, dude, this cruise left from Long Beach to Hawaii. It's a 12-day, it's a 2-week cruise, but they only have the comics on for 4 days. So normally I get to go to the islands. It's the best part of the cruise is like being in Belize or Mexico. This one literally just went 4 days to Hawaii and then flew me out of Hawaii. So I was just on the ocean for 4 days. Like, I didn't get to go anywhere.
Yeah, that sucks.
Dude, and it was so rocky. Half the crowd's throwing up. Like, I'm on stage just fucking rocking back and forth. And one of the other comics on there threw up. So I had to do his set. I mean, I didn't do his act, but I had to cover for his time. Right. And then there's a woman named Thea Vidal, black woman, who's like, she used to have a TV show called Thea. She's one of the first comics I've ever seen. Def Jam. She's been like, and it was a very mostly black people on the crowd. So they loved her anyway. She's a murderer, but they really loved her, right? So they put me on right after her. Like, normally the shows are like hours apart. So literally she's on stage and she's like, guys, I got to get going. And the crowd's like, boo, no, stay. And meanwhile, I got to go fucking next, right? And then she goes, nah, I got to go, but I'll be selling CDs in the back of the room. So during my set, she's fucking selling CDs.
This is Master P? Like, what is she? She's slinging CDs like on a cruise ship? Like, what is going on?
Dude, I got it. Like, the first 6 minutes was rough. Then I got him, but I was like, fuck. I mean, dude, then I'm like, this is like, then they book me. This guy sees me and he's like, at this cannabis capital show, I do this show where it's like sponsored by marijuana, where literally you want to go first because everyone gets so fucking high. By the third comic, no one knows where they are, like, including the comics, right?
I didn't know marijuana sponsored people. That's I need to see if I can get in on that. Just say, hey, does any marijuana want to sponsor me?
So this guy booked me for a Christmas party. He's like, I own this strip club called The Library, right? So, and they just went to Vegas, right? And he's like, we're having a $10,000 dance competition, like pole dancing competition. We want you to do comedy for 20 minutes before the competition starts, right?
Right.
I'm like, this is a great idea. Like, but they're like, I'm going to be in Vegas anyway. They offered me it was good money. Dude, so I get there. No one knows this comedy. Nobody wants comedy. Like people brought their friends. It's $10,000, right? And then I go in the back where the guys like gives the speech to the girls, right? There's 75 girls and me, right? They're all looking at me like, I'm like, what am I doing here?
Is it like an Al Pacino any given Sunday speech? Is he back there like pumping them up, ready for, we'll get them inch by inch up that pole.
They're like, this is Vegas. So after you're done stripping, if you want to work, you can work here after the dance and you can get money. It's $60 a dance song in the back, $300. You can go topless anytime you want. I would recommend going topless on the stage. You have one song. It's all these rules, right?
Like most good strip clubs, they have a lot of rules. Like a lot of called the library. They should have a reading contest for $10,000 and see if anybody can.
That's what I said. I go, this place called the library. I don't think one person here has ever read a book.
So, yeah, the irony is killing me.
Dude, I go on, right? So I go on. They announce me. They're like, hey, everyone's ready for the contest. Who wants to see some titties? Fucking $10,000. But first, we got a guy telling jokes, right? So they fucking bring me on there. This is literally last night. Dude, I get a cordless mic. It cuts out every third word. So I'm like, hey, you ever call your ex? Like literally fucking, not one joke. Not one. I go, I will give $10,000 to get the fuck off the stage.
Right.
Dude, this went so fucking bad. I mean, people were like, I started making fun of people, but like, so then at the end, like after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like, dude, the strippers are like rooting for me. Like people felt bad for me. When strippers feel bad for you, like, you know it's going bad, right? And then I didn't even realize it's live streaming. So my wife is watching every move. I don't know how. She's like, oh, hope you're having... It's on Instagram. She's like, hope you're having fun at the bar right now. I go, how the fuck? So I think she has like fucking a mole or something. I'm looking around like, who the fuck is texting my wife? Like, so then like, so I like get off, like, then the fucking DJ starts heckling me, right? So then he's like, all right, man, we're going to wrap it up. I'm like, wrap it up. I told like 6 jokes. I couldn't get through any of them. So I'm like, all right, guys. And then he starts talking over me and then plays na, 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 hey, like, it's like I'm at the fucking Apollo. Like, this fucking, dude.
That sounds amazing to be there anyway, to see. I was just sitting there thinking the irony was crazy. They could only understand every third word you were saying. I was like, just like a real library, they could probably only understand every third word they read. So it worked out.
So then I go to the bar and some girl like starts talking to me and she's like, hey, she goes, you want a lap dance? And I'm like, oh, I'm here working. She's like, I'm like, I don't want to dance. She goes, I don't give dances. I give experiences. Right. Then she's like, there's a black woman. She's like, you ever had a black girl? I start walking away from her. I go, stop following me. Like, dude, then the other girl, she's like, hey, I just want to let you know, I'm a professional escort, right? So I thought she said I'm a professional squirter, right? I'm like professional squirter. Like, I don't know there was a pro squirting league.
Like, you sure you're not semi-pro like that football player?
Dude, dude, I was supposed to go up there and announce the winners. They just paid me and told me to leave. Like, literally, I didn't even announce the winners. I was more than happy to not do that, dude. So that was.
So we'll never know who won the 10 grand, huh? We'll forever have to wonder.
Dude, it was ridiculous. Then my friend Kira Bataro, who's a fighter, came. She was there to support her friend. She's like, I'm coming to your show Tuesday. I'm bringing all the strippers. And every time you say Kira, we're all going to flash. I'm like, this never fucking happened when I was single, ever. Like, literally ever fucking. Like, this is just, dude, it's just been, but she's probably not going to come. Dude, then like I'm writing the MMA awards, right? So this time I'm writing every fucking sketch I gotta write, the whole monologue. So I talked to I'm not even supposed to say this, but I talked to Chris Barnett, right? Beast Boy, and I'm like, hey man, So I'm like, okay, what could be funny? You know, he used to be a professional dancer. He was a professional break dancer. He was a battle dancer, and he's hilarious. Why don't we have him do Lizzo? Like, there's a Lizzo song. I write the whole fucking song. He's like, yo, I'm in, dog. I'm in. Right? I'm like, okay. I write it. He's like, yo, this is hilarious. Do I got to sing this? I'm like, no, we got a professional singer, like the All About the Cake video, this and that. With Cormier, I did. So then he's like, yeah. Then I can't find him. I mean, which is hard to find. Like, you can't miss that guy, but I can't find him, right? Can't find him. So I'm like, fuck, now I have this song. So I call DC. I'm like, hey, man, I wrote this song. You'd be perfect. It's for Lizzo. Dude, the fucking awkwardness on that call, like.
So you didn't get mad about the chicken one, but Lizzo's too much for him. That was,
dude, it was just nothing, right? So then I'm like, he's like, yo, I'll call you back, man. He never called me back, right? So then I call Henry, right? And I'm like, there's a song called The World's Smallest Violin, right? So I had The World's Smallest Champion, and I wrote a whole fucking thing. And I help Henry a lot with his tweets, if you know what I'm saying. A lot. So he's like, anything you need. So we can't find Henry, right? He's in fucking Chechnya with that dictator shooting fucking rifles and like bullets and like rocket launchers with Justin Gaethje and Usman, right? So then he doesn't have time for this, right? So
he's busy shooting rockets with a warlord. That makes sense. I can understand why that would be a problem.
So then I call Luke Rockhold, and he's like, so I write a song for him, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm in. Then he's like, no. So now I'm with him. So then then he's like, yo, it was about mushrooms. And so then I have Rashad. Rashad thinks I'm making fun of him. So then he goes to ask Cowboy. Cowboy did a fucking kick-ass job. You saw, right?
Yeah.
Cowboy killed it. And then I wrote and then Dean Thomas did a really fucking thing. I got one for Don Frye, which was fucking great, except of course his Wi-Fi didn't work. So he had to go to a professional studio. And then the fucking producer comes on the screen. He looks at the picture and he goes, you look like the valedictorian in a gay website. And then I wrote the thing. So anyway, that's that, man. So and now I brought my daughter to Vegas with me. So we literally just came from the museum, and I'm like, my dad came. So like literally, I'm at the strip club last night looking for like fun things to do with kids in Vegas. Like, this is what I'm doing at a fucking strip. And then this girl came up to me, right? One of the girls, and she's like fucking jacked. She's 24-year-old, really pretty girl. And I'm like, oh yeah, you look like a gymnast. She's like, oh, I was an Olympian gymnast, and my parents homeschooled me. I went to a professional gymnast school. I made the Junior Olympics. I made this, and now she's now she's pole dancing. And I couldn't help think, like, man, like.
Usually strippers are paying for college, not for homeschool, Olympic, whatever. But you know,
oh, dude, it was one after another, man. Did you watch the fights?
No, I didn't know there were fights. Who fought?
All right, so I'll give you an update. So Kevin Holland.
Oh wait, yeah, I did see part of that one,
dude. So that was a great fight. It was probably the fight of the year. Kevin Holland, man, like, it's like what makes him great also like ends up like leading to his losses, because he's such a stubborn guy. He literally was like, it's just gonna do nothing but stand up. No wrestling, no grappling, right? Which would have been great if you're not fighting the greatest kickboxer in the history of fucking the UFC, or the best karate guy. Like,
right?
Literally, his corner during the fight says, "This is an MMA fight." Like, that's not something your corner should tell you during a fight.
I think he must have said no wrestling in his last fight too, because it didn't look like he had any wrestling against Cosmot either.
But so he ends up losing to fucking Wonder Boy to a fight that I think he could have won if he just, I mean, what's the point of having a black belt in jiu-jitsu if you're not going to use it? Like,
yeah. Didn't he break his hand though? Didn't they stop it for an injury or something?
He was getting fucking lit up. Like that last, like, it was target practice. Like, it looked like Wonder Boy was going for, how could I get a spinning wheel kick highlight? Because he went for like 9 spinning, like it looked like a Rocky movie where Rocky's getting the shit beaten out of him, except at the end he just gets the shit beaten out of him. they just stop the fight.
That'd be a hell of a Rocky movie. Because at the end he completely lost.
Dude, it was like But I think I don't understand. Like you have such a reach advantage, such a grappling advantage. Oh, Wonder Boy, his one weakness is grappling. Why would you? I mean, what do you think it is, Sean?
Maybe he may want to make it up to the fans, like his last performance, feel like he's got to give them a show or something like that. Man, I'll tell you what, that whole giving them a show thing is great until you lose and they cut you. Like that's what the UFC is like. It's so funny how they always say, like, if you lose an exciting fight, we won't cut you. But if you win a boring fight, we might cut you. And then you lose an exciting fight and they still cut you, and you win a boring fight and they don't cut you. So it's like it's just like a little scam they pull to try to get you to fight an exciting fight. Then I think I told you the story about oh my gosh, Paul Bradley took a fight, literally lost 30 pounds in 48 hours or something crazy. Said he didn't want to take it on short notice because he only had one fight left on his, or he only had 2 fights left on his contract. He was coming off a loss. It's a real bad matchup for me on 48 hours. Goes out there, gets robbed on a split decision. I mean, like killed the guy and got robbed on decision. Then they cut him anyway. So he takes a short notice fight, cuts the weight, should have won, got ripped off by the judges, and then gets released from his contract. So
it's crazy. I mean, you also, not to mention, you put in these exciting fights, you're taking years off your life. I mean,
right.
Yeah. Career. I mean, there's no way you could take 40 fucking wheel kicks in a row and tell me your chin's gotten better. I mean, he's never been knocked down in a fight, and I give him credit. I mean, he's got heart, and he's awesome. And this is a guy that doesn't even like me because I wrote a joke about him, and he got mad, so I took it down. It wasn't even like a joke. It was like I was calling him a hero. I go, Kevin Holland's a hero for saving 30 people and basically taking down a robber. And he also got his first takedown. Like it was something very
weak,
and he got mad at it. So I took it down, but then he was nice about it. We talked a little bit, but it was crazy. It was crazy.
I'll tell you what would be nice, man, is if at some point if fighters would unionize, because the NFL, I mean, there's a lot of head trauma too, but the thing on fighters, there are so many guys who literally are taking years off their life, and they're not even making as much as you make working at Subway, and they're willing to fight for enough money just to be on TV. Like they don't, they'll fight for 10 grand just to be on TV. It's ridiculous, man. Like it is, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like it'd be nice at some point if guys would stand up and demand more money, because they really are. A lot of them guys are going to have long-term damage and have nothing to show for it,
Well, somebody who's out of the hospital who's just joined us, Don Frye, by the way, actually killed the sketch. So funny. How are you, Don?
Good, partner. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. How are you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm moving around now. My girlfriend Lisa's chased me around the house, sometimes with a broom, sometimes with the little cattle prod, shit. So
well, quit trying to just get her to stick stuff up your ass, and it won't happen as much, Dom.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get her go that, but she's not into that kind of silly shit. So I'll just send her over to California.
Oh man, Don, did you watch the fights at all or no?
Yeah, I did actually. I did. Because we were there filming your thing. So we just stuck around and started watching the fights.
Now, what did you think of the Kevin Holland fight? I thought he showed a lot of heart, but he fought a karate guy in a karate fight versus using his wrestling or like grappling.
Yeah, I thought it was a stupid way to fight. I mean, that's what the late Jeff Blatnick used to say to me. He says, "Why do you fight them at their style?" I said, "Well, I want to beat them at their style." And he says, "Well, if you don't let them get to their style, does that mean you beat them that way?"
Yeah.
Jeff, I'm not smart enough to figure that one out, but I guess you're
right. That is a good thought. I didn't think about that.
Now, Don, is that a shirt of you?
Yeah. No, it's the great Ronald Reagan.
Oh.
I thought it was me. Oh. It's a great Ronald Reagan. One of the top the 5 presidents. You got Ronald Reagan. You got George Washington.
They thought his internet connection was dying.
Oh man, dude, Don. All right, so we'll just keep going. So also Ty Tabasa, by the way, Sean got knocked out. This fucking guy, Sergey Pavlovich, is a monster. He's 17-1. And he just ran through Ty Tabasa. I mean, ran through him, which I was kind of happy though because I hate that fucking Shoey.
Yeah, that stuff is. That got old quick, man. That gimmick is played out fast.
That and the little person, what's his name? The little guy.
I have too many midget jokes right now. I can't
There's a guy that like is from Russia who beats up on Henry and all the fighters, and it was like cute at first, kind of.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Now he's like punching people in the face. It's getting to a point where like, and like McGregor said he's gonna kick him, he's gonna punt him. Like he's literally making enemies. This guy, like,
his name's I cannot believe I can't remember his name. That is the craziest thing ever. I know you're talking about though.
I don't know. Everyone finds it really funny, but I'm just maybe I'm just feel like I'm missing the joke. Like I get it, little person funny, but it's like I just don't get it. After 10,000 times, it's the same fucking joke. Okay, he's little and he pretends to beat people up. Okay, like this is, and people are like, oh, we're giving him an opportunity, and like this is. I'm like, but can we just treat him normal? I know, like physically he might not be normal, but I feel like we're people are treating him like he's a 3-year-old and putting him on their laps. And like carrying around like a football, and like I don't get it. Maybe it's me. I feel like I don't. It was funny. I never even laughed the first time. I just go, aha! I could see why this is funny. And
almost everything you said could have applied to Brendan Schaub, by the way. Just almost every single thing he said.
What's up, people? Football is back, and BetOnline remains your #1 source for all your football betting needs this season. You always find the latest football odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. And as your continued source for all sports wagering information, BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores and giveaways all season long. Always the fastest and easiest way to bet on your favorite sports and events. Bet Major League Baseball, MMA, tennis, boxing, even golf. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code CLNS50 to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts.
People pretending like he's funny. They're humoring him, like they're treating him like a child. Like, oh, good job, buddy. You're doing good. Like,
yeah, like it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Hey, Don,
I can't remember his name.
Don, I don't want to get you to walk around, but is there any other place in your house that I don't get feedback and that the connection is better?
I don't know if it doesn't get any better, then we'll start walking around. How's that sound?
Oh, this is better. Yeah. Also, keep those
Trying
out.
to find something better.
Also, keep the ear pods out because, like, every time I talk, I can hear you. I can hear me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, did you watch the Ty Tabasa versus Pavlovich fight?
No.
Oh, fucking
No,
Pavlovich.
I was worn out, so I left before that fight.
Yeah. So this guy Pavlovich. I mean,
I left after watching Clay. I left after watching Clay Guida win.
Yeah, Clay won. Yeah, Clay won. I mean, this guy Pavlovich his only loss in 2018 to Overeem by knockout. He's beat Derek Lewis in 55 seconds. He beat Shamil Abdulakar. This guy beat Mariah Screen. This dude might be the next champion. He's from Russia. He's just a monster. Fucking monster. Eric Anders finally did, he's the guy that played for Alabama. He did great. Angela Hill did great. Clay won. Michael Johnson won. Darren Elkins, by the way, is one of these guys that bleeds like during the walk to the octagon. He fucking bleeds the whole fight. Every fight, he either gets the shit beaten out of him and comes back in the third round, or he gets the shipping on. Just fucking blood everywhere. And then Nathan Levy won.
Right, you just say the word fight, he starts bleeding. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Nathan Levy won, so go Israel. He then called out Kanye after the fight. So it was good. It was a good
that guy was impressive, man. That's one badass Hebrew, you know?
Yeah, we finally got one.
That guy's impressive.
I don't know. When I watch him fight, he gives me the Heebie-jeebies.
There was one guy, Don, did you fight that one guy? He was from Israel. He had the worst luck in the history of fighting. I think he fought like you, Mark Kerr, and like he was from Israel.
No, he fought Coleman. He didn't fight me. He fought Coleman. Coleman almost ran him through the fence, you know? God dang.
Yeah,
it was a sad night for that boy, I'll tell you that.
What was that guy's name? That guy's name was like it was like very Israeli.
Modi Hornstein.
Yeah, Modi
Hornstein, right?
Yeah, Sean, you ever heard this guy?
Yeah, I remember. It's weird that the Jews run everything but fighting, apparently. So it's yeah. Right. Apparently they don't run the fight leagues. But Morty Horn. Yeah, I think it's Morty Hornstein, something like that.
Yeah, this dude, like, you talk about fucking bad luck, man. He had like 2 fights, and I think it was against Coleman, Modi the Hammer Hornstein, right?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? By the way, we're gonna have you fight Coleman and Kerr back to back. Like that'll be your first 2.
Oh, he was 1-6, 1-6, right? His first fight was against Mark Coleman. His second fight was against Mark Kerr. His third fight was against Oleg Taktar.
Golly.
He did beat Pat Smith, which was pretty damn good, but in 26 seconds. But I mean, who's your agent? Who was his agent where they're like, we're going to have you fight Coleman, Kerr, Oleg? Like, could you imagine? I mean,
I can imagine getting set up with Mark Hunt for your first UFC fight and being told, whoever had go ahead and sign the contract, whoever your opponent is will be another first-time UFC guy. Because I said, I'm not interested in getting set up to get murdered when they offer the contract. It'll be another first-time UFC guy. And then when it comes across, it says Mark Hunt. After I've signed the bout agreement, they then have me sign the fight agreement or whatever, or the contract. Then I signed the bout agreement. And I hit my agent up and I said, hey, is that like Mark Hunt from Iowa or something? Like, that's not like the kickboxer, right? Because that's it, although technically that is his first fight in UFC, that's not exactly like a first-time UFC guy. He's like, yeah, what if you take him down, though? And I was like, yeah, but what if I don't? So it'd be a problem.
And you beat him in fucking 1 minute, dude.
Yeah, luckily. But then they're like, hey, we got Stephen Struve for you 8 weeks later. I'm like, cool.
Hey, you were beating him too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If I still say, there's very few guys that I would say that about, but like if I fought Mark Hunt again, he probably would have beat me 9 out of 10 times. But if I had not gassed out against Struve, I'd beat him 8 or 9 out of 10 times, man.
I think you would have got Mark Hunt's head. You seemed like you got in his head.
Yeah, it was weird, man. It's of all the ones to lose to, the best was when I fought Christian Moorcraft. And he won't go to the ground with me, like almost at all. But then he stands up with Mitrione and Pat Barry. And I asked him why after both fights. I said, why didn't you try to take them down? Oh, I wanted to beat them at their own game. I was like, why didn't you try to beat me at my own game? You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, why do you wait till you fight them to fight them at their own game? You know, like.
So Ali Abdelaziz wants Justin Gaethje to put McGregor in a wheelchair. I mean.
And rolling around, like I don't get like what.
I mean, this is also a sport. I mean, can you imagine like a football player saying that again about another football player, or like a basketball player, or like a base? I mean, as much as like McGregor sometimes is like irritating because you realize how good he is, and I don't think there's any fighter I would ever want to see in a wheelchair. There's not any fighter. I don't think there's even a person I want to see in a wheelchair. I mean,
you know what's crazy is all these guys like BJ Penn said it, Conor McGregor said it. A lot of people have said, I'm going to literally try to kill this guy. One day that's going to happen. And let's just hope to God that the person didn't say that beforehand. You know what I mean? Because if you're Conor McGregor or somebody, you say, I'm literally going to try to kill him, and you kill the person, it's going to probably be bad for your career, I would guess. So.
By the way, Don, are you following this James Krause situation? Sean, are you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I know James, so yeah, it's try not to make too many jokes about it, but yeah, I mean, I've been following it. I was a little surprised he was so vocal about betting. Like, you bet on fights that you coach? Like, sure. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
It's a
I
little
mean,
odd.
now it's like, fuck, dude. I mean, so I don't know exactly the situation. I don't think anyone really knows. It's just all like hearsay right now. But I don't know, Don, if you can hear me. So this guy was a coach. He was a great fighter. James Krause, great fighter, also a coach. And he runs Glory MMA in Missouri. And he also had like gambling picks. And he was like boasting that he had like a 90% winning or some like super high winning. Well, one of the fighters he's coaching, Don, can you hear me? Don?
Yeah,
Yeah, can you hear the story? Are you following so far?
I could. No, I can't.
Okay,
Yes.
so one of the guys he's fighting, so he was coaching this one guy.
I got kicked off now. I'm back in.
All right, so there's a big situation right now in MMA where this guy, James Krause, who's a hell of a fighter, great coach, seemed like a great guy. I'm friendly with him. Sean went to the Middle East with him, and they did like a tour. And I remember you saying after he left, like, this guy was like the nicest, coolest, like you guys were friends for life.
I really liked him, yeah, a lot.
So he's coaching so he has like a betting thing. He was giving betting picks. And he was boasting that, like, I won 90% of my bets or 95% of his bets. Well, it turns out one of his guys had a fight, this guy, Derek Minner, and he throws the kick 30 seconds in. And then he throws, and his leg gives out. Like, he tore an ACL, but didn't actually get kicked. Like, it was like, you could kind of tell his leg was fucked up for the fight. Throws another kick.
Yeah.
With the same leg. Leg gives out, other guy beats the shit out of him, right? Well, it turned out before that fight, the line on the other guy went like from like 2-1 to fucking 20-1 or something. Like, it was very suspicious activity. Well, next thing you know, James Krause, this girl that he was coaching, this girl Megan Anderson, fucking tore him up, said he was having all this shit, whatever. But whatever. Turns out that they're investigating for gambling. Now he's not allowed to coach anybody, and any of his fighters can't even, like, whatever. And now gambling's illegal in Ontario, Canada because of it. And like the feds are looking into this, and this dude's in like a fucking whirlwind of trouble. And Sean, what are your thoughts on this?
Dude, I had somebody tell me one time that was running illegal gambling sites. I won't say who, but a fighter I know that was running illegal gambling sites, and he was trying to get me in on it. Not illegal, but online gambling sites. And I was like, dude, are you sure you're allowed to do that? Like, that seems like a big deal if you get caught. He says, how many people have you ever known that got caught doing that? I'm like, actually a couple. Like, that's why I'm not a bookie. I know a couple people who've gotten in big trouble running betting sites. You know what I mean? Like, big trouble. Like, there was the one guy that had to leave the country. I think he still can't come to the United States. He's hiding out the Bodog guy, you know? I said, like, that's a big deal, man. And he wanted me in on it. And I knew a guy here in Indianapolis, same thing, a guy I used to bet with. He's got like 5 years in prison, you know? Like, he's the guy that hits me up and says, hey, if anybody hits you from my old number, don't make any bets, this and that or whatever. And I'm like, dude, why in the world would my name, number, anything be in your phone? Don't you have a burner phone? Like, you don't, like, why in the world would anyone contact me about bets? And I hadn't bet with him in months. Like, I hadn't made a bet. And I said, I didn't know that was your site. I thought I just asked you who you bet with, because like, whoever it was wouldn't let me bet. They said you're a former, you know, like, if he, what's the big one everybody bets with? I can't remember, the DraftKings.
Yeah.
I tried to sign up for DraftKings, bet on fights. They said you're a former pro athlete. We don't let former pro athletes bet. So I hit up this buddy of mine, and I'm like, hey, who do you bet with? Like, you got a site you use? And it turns out it's his site. He doesn't tell me that. And then he hits me up, you know, months since I've made a bet with him. Hey, if anybody hits you up, it might be the feds. So, you know, be careful. Whatever. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, I thought this was a legit site you bet with. You know what I mean?
What do you think happens to James Krause if he gets?
I guess it depends on if they can catch him breaking the law. I don't know how I know it would be illegal, I would think, to bet against one of your fighters and coach him. I would think, you know what I mean? But I don't know if it's illegal to bet for one of your fighters to win, you know, but it's a slippery slope, man. Because, you know, Pete Rose, they got him bet. He always said he never bet against his team.
Yeah, but he never did jail time, Pete Rose.
I mean, I guess it depends on what he's doing. Depends on if he's running. I mean, I don't know. The thing that surprised me, like I said, is I saw him talking to Ari Helwani about it and saying, "Oh yeah, like I make all kind of money betting. I make this and that or whatever." Like, dude, that's like jumping up and down saying, "Oh, I got a weed grow in my basement. If you guys want to come check it out, you know what I mean?" Like, just I wouldn't have been bragging about it.
Did you ever know anybody that like threw a fight?
What?
Did you ever know anybody that threw a fight?
Know anybody that what?
Threw a fight.
No, nope. I wasn't privy. I wasn't privy to such information. No, shit. When you're getting ready to fight, you're in your own little world. You don't have time to run around and check on everybody else to see what the fuck's going on. You're worried about yourself.
Right.
It's like being a woman. You're just so.
I'm pretty sure I know how this is going to end. Sean, what were you saying?
I really wanted to see how that ended. I had a couple fights I was involved in that I was pretty sure the other guy threw it when I won. But
really?
No. I had a couple wins where, there's a couple fights that if I would have won, like if I would have beat Soa Palele, I'd have been like, dang, I wonder who paid him off. Because I was told going into that by my agent, by Monty Cox, that I was going to get my ass kicked. Like, that was awesome. He told me ahead of time, he's better than you at everything and bigger, stronger, faster. So good luck. And I'm like,
well, he
cool.
also got popped. He got popped for roids, right?
I don't know if he got popped or not, but I know he went from 290 pounds of lean muscle to about 245 when the UFC started testing and got completely out of fighting after that. So,
by the way, Don, you see the guy, the Liver King? Sean, any thoughts on the Liver King?
Yeah, my nephew asked me, I want to say, I don't know, probably 6 months ago, said, do you think there's any way the Liver King isn't taking steroids? I was like, impossible. Like, no way in the world is it possible. Like that, and those guys are so stupid. Like The Rock gets on there and says he doesn't take steroids, like my steroid-free life. Like, dude, how are you getting bigger, stronger, faster as you get older? How does that, are you reverse aging? You know what I mean? Like, how does that work? They're so full of shit. There's a dude, there's a bodybuilder that's real famous. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Oh gosh, Mike, or I don't know. He's obviously roided out to the max. Mike O'Hearn, I think, or something O'Hearn, 54 years old, the most ripped dude you've ever seen, and he swears he's never touched a steroid. Like, yeah, I'm sure.
Well, the Liver King actually became like a celebrity, though. That was like he was going to UFC fights. He was
right.
So now it's over because, and rightfully so, because, I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
He was doing his damnedest, I know, to try to get onto Joe Rogan's podcast, and Rogan was like not buying his bullshit, saying, dude, there is no way you can look like that. I mean, I'm sure it helps that he's like 5'1", like the dude's tiny if you actually see him like next to somebody who's, but still, there's no, dude, you can't get that vascularity. I don't care how many livers you eat. It's the same thing with Overeem and his horse meat. Give me some of that horse meat then. If there was such a thing like that, people, like, everyone would be taking it in Hollywood. You know what I mean? If there was something that did that to you, like it's
by the way, I don't know, guys. I fucking hate. I'm on testosterone. I'm on T. I started taking it like when I was 43 because I'm on, the antidepressants I took would lower my testosterone to a level, and then I got to put needles in my butt. It sucks. How did you do that?
Dude, I've been giving myself shots for 20 years now, close to it. I usually go on my shoulder because you can kind of go at a 45-degree angle and you don't build up the scar tissue. But it's no fun, man, for sure. I know I used to have a nurse I lived close to, and she would do it for me, and I would do it once a week. But I've got scar tissue all over me. I'm sure it's not going to be. Eventually, I'm going to run out of spots. You know what I mean? Like where you do it. But it's I got to take a shot every week, man, and it's hard to giving it yourself is no fun. It sucks. So especially when you hit a vein. I've hit veins before and pull it out and it just starts spraying all over the place like blood does.
And then my daughter's like, Daddy, what are you doing in there? I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom, honey. I'm like, it's fucking beyond embarrassing. Like, I don't know. I don't even know.
Oh yeah.
I have noticed the difference.
No, it's a 10, man. There is a really.
Go on.
How many milligrams are you taking a week?
0.6.
Oh, so you're taking like the Cypionate, like 200 milligram then?
Yeah, the 0.6 just the testosterone. It's like very little. I mean, I get it up to like.
I mean, do you know the dosage of what it actually is? Is it testosterone Cypionate or?
I don't know. I know that like they took my test and said I was at like a 200, or I was like low according to the
Yeah,
guy.
that's really low.
So
The lowest or the highest I've ever tested. I tested when I was taking 600 milligrams a week, which would be basically probably 5 or 6 times what you're taking. The highest I ever tested at was 500, which is still low. You know,
wow.
My body just does not produce any testosterone. It's a weird thing. So,
Don, where are you heading to?
I'm trying to find a spot out here to I can talk to you.
But by the way, just so you know, Sean,
I keep getting bumped off.
So we have in like the sketch that you're in. So we had a doctor suit delivered to Don, right? And Don,
right.
So of course Don calls up and he's like, "This fucking thing never came. This is some bullshit." So then the guy goes, "I'm looking at a picture of the package in front of your house." Don, where was it?
Yeah, they said it's on the block wall. There's 2 block walls, you know. So of course I drive by the one.
Don's mail delivery is as bad as his internet. Like even his mail can't get there correctly. Like son of a bitch.
Dude, literally, that you telling the guy that he looks like a valedictorian at a gay website. He was laughing all fucking day, texting me about that. Like, where do you come up with this shit? Was that a line you said before, or you just made that up?
No, it really looked like it, man.
Well, why are you on gay websites that you know what? How is anyone even a valedictorian? Like, there's like you get.
No. Actually, I said he looked like the valedictorian of a gay junior high school.
Oh,
because he looks real young, you know.
There are gay junior high schools.
I don't know. You're the one from California. Jeez. I'm sure there is now, you know, all the goofy shit going on.
You're the valedictorian of a gay. So like I said, meanwhile, a couple people I like texted and I said, "Hey, Don Frye's in the hospital. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. It would probably make his day." A couple people said you were mad at them. And they're like, "No, Don hates me." And I go, "No, I'm sure he doesn't hate you." And then one person, Chael, said he texted you. He said you were mad at him about something from like 10 years ago. And then he goes, "I'm gonna be the bigger person and text Don." So he goes, "Hey Don, hope you're feeling better." You go, "Is this Chanel?" So first you called him Chanel and you go, "Which Chael is this? I know 2 of them. Are you the dumb one or the black one?" So the guy says, "I hope you feel better." And right away you call him a Chanel and then he's dumb.
Well, hell, if I'm mad at him, why would he call me? I mean, no, I love Chael. I love Chael. I am not mad at Chael for anything. I think Chael's great.
Oh, because he thought you were mad at him. And then Hendo thinks you're mad at him too.
Hendo? Are you crazy? I've been trying to get Hendo on my damn podcast for over a year.
He says you're mad. He texted me a YouTube clip of you making fun of him or saying he's an asshole or something.
Oh, Hendo. Oh, I thought you said Henzo. Oh, okay. No, I love Henzo Gracie. I love
No. Dan Henderson says that you don't like him.
No, no, that's not true. I called him an asshole, and that in the fight world, that's a compliment, man. Because if you're not a fucking fighter, you're not an asshole. You're not gonna be a good fighter, you know. But you gotta be the asshole in the ring, not outside. You know, when it comes to dealing with all the fans and everything, you got to know where to do it. And people you got to treat your fans perfect. I mean, because they're the ones that put the fucking food on your table.
Well, I love you and I love Dan Henderson. So hopefully you guys can.
But Henderson, you got to be an asshole in the ring. That's all there is to it. You can't shake hands and hug each other and wiggle butts and all that bullshit.
Well, just so you know, everybody that I texted, for the most part, said that you inspire them to fight, that you're a living legend, and they were beyond like happy to reach out to you. Although it was funny, Sean. So Andrea Lee, right, goes, I don't think he'll remember me. I only met him once or twice, but I'll text him. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, this dumb blonde saying I won't remember her. Way to go.
So then she texted a picture and she goes, I met you one time. You were so nice. Just want to say I'm a huge fan. And she picked up a picture of her and Dan Severn.
Yeah, that's how genius this girl is. Yeah.
Dude, I was fucking dying laughing. She's like, you think he's mad at me? I'm like, no, he probably thinks it's funny, to be honest. So, yeah,
better than if it had been like Freddie Mercury or something, like someone else with a mustache that she got confused with. That's yeah, you could be worse things than Dan Severn, confused for worse.
Right,
things
absolutely.
Dude,
absolutely. That's a compliment. That's a compliment in my book. You know,
I'll do a lot of your fights are coming up on my TikTok feed, and the videos of you and Dan Severn walking to the ring together is so fucking badass, dude. Especially the one where it was your second fight and it was like his first fight lasted only 10 seconds. So, what was that for? You just hit the guy and he went down?
Yeah, it was 8 seconds. I had to walk, we had to walk across the ring in the cage,
Was that surprising that it was 8 seconds?
Yeah, what happened, I went lumbering out there and the guy hit me in the nose and cracked my nose. Right away, I go, wake up, Frye, you're in a fight, And then so I ducked a couple and hit him with a short right.
Oh, fuck, dude. And then I watched one of the fights, the guy, you said he was 250-0 when he fought you?
Yeah, that was Amari Batesh. He's 150 and 0. No, I'm sorry, 150-1 because he lost one fight because he's in the finals of a tournament and he'd already beat the guy. So they started celebrating and started drinking champagne before the fight. So he went out there and got beat.
Dude, they stopped that fight. Holy shit, Sean. Don's got him. The guy's like kind of turtled up. And Don was just kneeing the fucking guy. Like, your knee went all the way back. And they stopped the fight because of knees. Like, they didn't.
I was pulling a Ric Flair. Had my legs up on the cage and whacking down on you can see his whole spine vibrate, it's pretty nasty. Dude, and Cal fought before me and got a punctured lung, and so he was in the ICU and Amari Batesh was in ICU for like 10 days and he had tubes coming out of his skull to relieve the pressure from his brain. I mean, that guy's tougher than nails.
Crazy.
Fuck, man. Those fights were crazy. That somebody's on TikTok and he has every single UFC fight and he puts them on. And I don't know where this guy found them. And he has all the ones that didn't even air, like the alternate fights. And it's always one guy that's like, I was 900-0 in street fights, and he's like doing karate chops in his fucking backyard or something, and then he just goes out there and gets fucking murdered in like 19 seconds.
Usually the guys that had nice round numbers on their street fights usually didn't do too well in the UFC. It seems like
dude, this guy's TikTok is hilarious. Everyone is like, dude, he goes, I have a deadly force in Kong Pong Po where if I hit you like this, it's lights out. And none of it ever works. Like literally none of these guys' fucking fighting systems work.
No, when you fight somebody who knows what they're doing, none of this fucking bullshit works. You're absolutely correct. It's if you're fighting some zero who has never gotten a fight in his life and had too many drinks, well, yeah, you're gonna knock him on his ass.
But I hate to say it, Sean and Don, but those fights are more entertaining on this tick than the ones now. I don't know, maybe because I also never heard of these guys but holy fuck, like the no weight classes, the headbutts, the backstories of the guy training in his backyard chopping wood and just getting the shit beaten out of him, like.
Dude, I've always said I would rather watch two guys who can't fight to save their lives fight each other than two guys that are really good. Because sometimes two guys are really good can negate each other, but two guys that have no clue what they're doing, like the most amazing things can happen. Like you never know what's coming. You know what I mean? Like they can throw a spinning back kick that isn't even really like it. There was a guy named he was 0-17. He was kind of got a little bit famous here locally for like never winning, but he had I'll send you a video of it later. He had a kick where he came out and threw a kick on the glove touch because my brother was the promoter and he gave him an extra $100 to try to kick a guy on the glove touch because he knew there's no way he would land it. But he just kicks and misses his hand and everything, and then curls up and falls down. The guy just starts hitting him and beats him up or whatever, and everybody starts booing. But it was Scott Blevins was his name. Like he was notorious, man, for his videos are unbelievable. But he was 0-17. They finally quit letting him fight because his fights were lasting like 10 seconds.
It's fucking crazy. UFC this week, real quick. Obviously, the main event got canceled. The Glover Teixeira.
Sean, after that fight, is that when you changed your name to Sean?
Yeah, I started. So when I stopped going from by Blevins, I started switched to Sean McCorkle from Scott.
Jan Blachowicz versus Ankalaev. Who do we like, Sean?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go with Jan, man. I don't know. I'm really surprised Glover didn't take that fight, man. That is very strange to me at his age that he would pass up a title shot. That's really, really strange. But maybe he thought he had more. I don't know. Maybe he thought he had more juice than he had. I don't know.
Don?
I'm going with Jan. I'm a big fan of Jan's. I like him. You know,
I'm going Ankalaev. This guy, Ankalaev, is 18-1. His only loss was against Paul Craig, where he 10-8, 10-8, and then lost with 1 second left to a triangle. This dude's a monster. He just doesn't speak English, and he's from, Dagestan, and nobody knows him because of that. But he's
I didn't know he's from Dagestan. I'll take him then. Anybody from Dagestan, I bet on.
Paddy Pimblett.
I would, but since Sean's betting on him, I'm going to stay with Jan.
That's the truth. We got to hit James Krause up and see who he's going with.
And then again, Bryce Mitchell is fighting. Don, you would love this guy. You know Bryce Mitchell, right? He's the guy from I think he's from Arkansas. Donated half his money to sick kids, but he also huge. He's a huge tough guy.
He's gold, man. I love that guy.
Big flat earther. He wants to debate Joe Rogan. He trains like in his fucking backyard. He's got 87 guns in case anyone wants to take over his streets. He's just a madman. But he's fighting a guy who's 12-0. In
case anyone decides to take over and he has 86 friends over, because how many guns are you going to shoot at once? I've never understood guys like 30 guns. I'm like, dude, how about one gun and 30 clips? Like, it makes a little more sense to me. But
he's like, they're not taking away my guns. Like, nobody's going to Arkansas to take away your guns, dude. It's not. They're probably going to start with New York first and California. I don't think they're going away where this guy.
Well, hell, they'll give them away there. They don't take them. They'll give them away.
Also on this card, Jared Gordon. He's the guy that overdosed 19 times from heroin, but made it out all right. He's fighting Paddy Pimblett.
We've all been there.
Yeah, that's a streak of good luck you want to brag about, right?
Yeah. He's like, what's your record? 19-0 against heroin overdoses.
All right, well, that's our podcast today. Sean, you got to leave at 2:00. Don, you're the best. You look great. I'm so happy you're out of the hospital, man. You fucking look great. You got a haircut. Mustache is looking great. So happy for you. Sean, anything you want to promote?
No, other than don't break in my house while I'm out of town, because I will have someone here with a gun waiting. Not 86 guns, but there will be at least one. So,
and then you, Don?
Yeah, I'm going to have a half-toothless guy from Arkansas guarding my house this week while I go back to the hospital for more tests. So, you feel froggy, come jump on over.
You're the best. I'll see you guys later, and have a good week, guys. Take care.
Yeah.